Los Angeles Rams at Arizona Cardinals. This week, I think everybody kind of expected the Rams to win. Uh, they were smoking them in the beginning, and Arizona made a little bit of a run at the end. They had a small chance of a comeback there. First, I'll start with the Cardinals. Kyler Murray, man, I think I'm gonna reiterate what I just said about him last week. He has such a high skill set, and he is so clutch that I think the clause that everybody made a big deal about him studying, I think that's the reason why Kyler Murray is so sporadic in his play. Uh, Kyler made a bunch of plays when the play would break down, he would roll out, be finding somebody, doing something like Russell Wilson kind of, but with more speed. Uh, and find somebody when it's third down, or when it's becoming a closer game. It seemed like his pass more accurate, more urgency in his play. But when the game was just rolling like normal, like last week, the Cardinals against the Raiders, when the Raiders were up, Kyler looks very. Uh, he doesn't know how to step back, hike, step back, go through read one, two, three, and decide between them. He kind of just breaks out and hopes for something to break down. And as the game goes along, gets closer, there's more urgency, so he makes more plays. As far as a methodical game managing quarterback, he is not holding himself together. That's why they are so close in every game. And I mean, they easily could have beat the Rams this week, but Kyler did not play that great. On the Rams side, I think they looked a little rusty again. I think Stafford's going to have a really off year this year, and that shoulder injury, that baseball injury that he had, seems like it's affecting him more than what people are saying. Uh, them losing Odell Beckham as well. I'm not an Odell Beckham fan at all, but he was the glue to that offense last year, being that he could take away attention from Cooper Kupp, who's triple covered every single game. And and if he didn't do that, Odell Beckham would be wide open. Odell Beckham one on one in coverage is one of the better receivers in the game. Odell is a number one where he's got to take doubles and he's got to be the leader of the receiving group. Not so much. But him in the number two role was great. They tried to replace him with Allen Robinson, and Allen Robinson has looked like trash so far, which is kind of surprising. Um, the fact that he did decent in Chicago, but he can't do anything in LA. It's like one of those receivers that has a really good skill set, and they're in Chicago. They're probably throwing him because he's probably the only receiver. This receiver's probably bad at learning route trees and learning new plays because he was traded right before the season, and it seems like he's not even involved in the offense at all. So he must be running the wrong routes. He must be not open. And if you're not open, that means you don't know the routes fully. Him if he was open in Chicago. So I also think the loss of Von Miller on that defense. I know they held the Cardinals pretty decently yesterday, but other than that, I mean, they let the Falcons score 26 points the week before, and they let the Bills score 42 or 35 on them. So their defense is not as Jalen Ramsey. I've always thought he's a little overrated. Jalen Ramsey was always surrounded by a really good defense. Even in Jacksonville, he had a really good defense around him. Last year, the Rams had a really good defense. This year, they're kind of falling apart, and they got two singular guys: Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey. Okay, but they have who's the Rams' second corner, and who's pass rushing alongside of Aaron Donald? Not stars like they were last year. So they have taken a notch down in my book. I think the Rams are going to finish up like 9-8 this year. I think the Cardinals will probably be 8-9, 9-8 this year as well. I think they're both kind of shaky teams. I think that I don't think either of them are going to make a wild card run. I think the each conference seems a little more top heavy than last year. The Rams are too shaky on defense and offense. They look very inconsistent, and the Cardinals, they're just banking on Kyler making some miracle play every game.